Hello and welcome back to the Drive to Thrive show, the show all about being yourself, being your best, and truly thriving in life, whatever that means to you. In today's episode, we're going to be learning all about how we can be present to and identify the opportunities for growth all throughout our daily lives. Because when it comes to our personal growth, being our best and thriving, yes, it's important that we can identify the big changes, shifts, and transformational experiences that are going to give us the large breakthrough type results. But it's also incredibly important that we can identify the 1% differences, the small changes and opportunities that present themselves to us within our daily lives, because as I've said before, and I will say many times again, greatness is a lot of small things done well day in and day out. And these small opportunities and shifts also compound, pay interest, and create massive transformational results. Not only that, when we can identify and take action upon the small opportunities throughout our daily lives, it makes our growth all the more natural, all the more enjoyable, and all the more effective. And here at the Drive to Thrive, that's what we're all about. Authentically and confidently being ourselves, being our best, and thriving all through being who we want to be and living our lives the way we want to live naturally. And today, we're going to be learning exactly how we can do that by discussing some examples of where these opportunities for growth lie, giving you some tips on how you can be more present to them and identify them, and then giving you some powerful tools to help you to capitalize on and put these opportunities into action. So without any further ado, let's get into today's episode. Identifying opportunities for growth, your growth list and your shit list. When it comes to personal growth, it's not just all about making more money, advancing our careers or businesses, or creating these big personal transformational breakthrough experiences. Yes, these things are of course important, but personal growth is also about looking for and finding ways to become 1% better, to become that wee bit more productive, happier, more peaceful, fulfilled, stronger, confident, resilient, whatever it is you want in your life. Basically, being able to identify anything that's going to allow you to be who you want to be with confidence, to love who you are, to achieve the goals that will give you the life and lifestyle you want, to love the life that you live, to be kinder to and care for others, and to contribute to society and the world as positively as we possibly can. And when we think about personal growth from that perspective, opportunities for growth are all around us and throughout our daily lives. Like maybe we notice that we have resistance towards doing something, and thus we have an opportunity to lean into it and create more discipline. Maybe we notice that we have an attachment to something, and here we find we have an opportunity to let go, trust, have faith, and hone in our intuition, creativity, and resourcefulness. Or maybe we notice that we keep doing the same thing the same way and it's not getting us the result that we want, or it's getting us the result that we want, but it's wasting precious time, energy, and valuable resources. And thus, we identify an opportunity to develop a new skill, habit, system, or routine that's going to get us the result that we want for very little extra effort, or even better, for even less effort. And so, in our daily lives, these opportunities are all around us. Let me give you some examples. When it comes to resistance, sometimes we can experience resistance to completing a certain task or getting the work done. And that resistance doesn't always mean that it's not the right thing for us to do, or it's not aligned with our values, or we should go and do something else. No, sometimes that resistance is literally just resistance to going through what we think we're going to have to go through to get that task done or get the result that we want. And so a great example of this is cold showers. I know how good for me cold showers are. I know how strong and powerful I feel once I step out of one. I know the benefits it has on my body, my psychology, and all that great stuff. But still, knowing how powerful and amazing it is, whenever it comes time to stepping into a cold shower or turning that water cold, my mind yells no and my body fills with resistance. But here is an opportunity for me to say, excuse me, no. My mind is not in charge. My emotions are not in charge. My body is not in charge. I am. And by then choosing to do that thing anyway, override the thoughts and the feelings of resistance, I have taken my power back from my mind and my emotions. I have become stronger and I've become more capable to override that resistance in any other experiences that come up in life. But whereas if we give in to that resistance, if we go, oh, do you know what? It's fine if I just skip one cold shower, nobody will know. Well, first of all, we'll know. And second of all, it becomes that much easier to say no the next time and give in to that resistance and not do whatever it is. Which you might think when it comes to a cold shower, who cares? But if that resistance comes up when it's time for you to turn up and do the do in your career or business, if that resistance comes up when it's time for you to make the difficult decision as a partner, a parent, a coach, whatever it is, then if we're not consistently making these decisions the way we want to make them, we're decreasing our ability to make them the way we want to make them in the future. But by overriding that resistance, overriding our mind and emotions, we're giving ourselves the power, building that mental muscle, and developing even more discipline. When it comes to attachment, maybe we notice that we have an attachment to something going the same way it's always gone because that's the way it's always been, or to some form of rule that we created for ourselves when we were younger, or maybe even some societal conditioning like, in order to be a successful and contributing member of society, you must work 40 hours a week, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. And here we realize that if we were to challenge what we already know, if we were to do something differently, there might be a huge opportunity for growth here. Like, for example, one of the reasons I created my own business is to live the life I want to live and to have certain amounts of freedom in different areas of life. And so, on the days where I intuitively decide, do you know what, I'm not going to sit at my desk all day, I'm going to go up to the woods and work, or like yesterday, Kirsty and I grabbing our laptops and heading off to the beach. On those days, it may seem counterintuitive because it's going to take me longer to get to my work. I'm potentially not going to be in an ideal work environment and I might not even be able to charge my laptop. But funnily enough, on those days where I let go of the attachment to my best work is done in the office and I must do 8 hours a day and all that bullshit, when I let go of that on those days, even though I'm at my laptop for less time, I get more work done in that short amount of time than I would do for a longer amount of time sat at my desk. And so, things that we notice we have attachments to. It must go this way because it's always been that way, or, oh, my mum told me I must eat all my dinner, or whatever it is. When we start to let go of these things, we develop an opportunity to hone in on our creativity, intuition, and resourcefulness. And then, last but by no means least, if we notice that we're doing the same thing again and again and not getting the result that we want, maybe we have an opportunity here to develop a new skill, create a new habit, put in place a new system. For example, if we are trying to lose weight and we've been trying to lose weight for several years and we're yo-yoing up and down and we're not quite getting the result that we want or been able to sustain it, well, maybe we look at our process and go, what's a new skill I could learn? What's a new habit I could create? Oh, look, maybe I could learn about counting calories. And by counting calories, having that skill and putting that habit in place, I'll be much more accountable to and aware of what I'm eating. I'll be able to maintain a calorie deficit more sustainably and effectively, and thus I'll maybe be more likely to get the results that I want. Or a personal one. I know that if I don't do meal prep the night before and I try and do it in the mornings, then in the morning it can sometimes be a bit of a mad rush because my daughter's there. She's excited. Every day of her life is the best day ever. And she just wants to talk and play and have fun and cuddles and sing and dance. Yet here's dad and mum in the kitchen frantically trying to get lunch ready for us and for Arabella and all that kind of stuff. Whereas, if I take a step back and go, right, wait a minute, where could I develop a new system or habit? Oh, tell you what, at night time, I'll do my best to create a dinner that I can season 2 ways. That way we can have it for dinner tonight and also have it for lunch tomorrow. Or even just stick around in the kitchen an extra 20 minutes, get Arabella's lunch done the night before, and it means that in the mornings, all I get to do is play with my daughter. It buys me more time, it gets rid of stress and resistance, and it just makes life that much more fun and enjoyable. And so, these are some examples of just small daily situations where different things can come up, like a resistance, attachment, not getting the results that we want because we keep doing some things the same way, or maybe that we're doing something completely new that we've never done before. And so instead of keeping charging forward with it, we just take a wee pause and go, right, wait a minute. What skills could I develop? What habits could I put in place that are going to allow me to progress more effectively in this area? And thus, all throughout our daily lives, there are opportunities for growth presenting themselves to us. Little signs, signals, and symbols, sometimes even big ones, pointing to opportunities to become healthier, happier, more fulfilled, productive, purposeful, successful, whatever it is we want in our lives. The possibilities are endless and the opportunities are all around us in the simple beauty of being present within our daily lives, in the active, reflective process of pursuing growth, and even in our challenges and obstacles. And so, you might be asking, how can I become more present to these opportunities? How can I identify these opportunities? And more importantly, Gary, how can I capitalize upon them for that natural growth? Well, here's some practical top tips to help you do exactly that. First and foremost, when it comes to being more present within our lives, being more aware of anything at all, whether it's more aware of our thoughts and emotions, more aware of others' thoughts and emotions, more aware of the opportunities for growth within our daily lives, the first and most powerful thing that we can do is set the intention that we are more aware of these things. Because when we set an intention, when we use a powerful, affirming I am statement, it sends a direct command and instruction to our subconscious minds. And thus, once our mind has received the message, I am more present and aware within my daily life, our brains go, oh, Gary wants to be more present and aware within his daily life. That's what I'm going to give him. And it works with us, programs itself, uses our reticular activating system we learned about in previous episodes to hone in on that thing that we want. So, first and foremost, set the intention. I am more present and aware within my daily life. Or if that doesn't sit with you quite right just yet, then you could say, I am becoming more present and aware within my daily life. And so, first of all, set that intention. Next, when it comes to being more present within our daily lives, something that we can do is practice meditation. Because meditation works like a workout for our minds. It increases our capacity to be present and to be aware. Because the practice of meditation is sitting down and actively being present. It's working the mental muscle of consciousness and awareness, which means when we leave that practice, we bring the benefits of the practice with us into our daily lives. Just the same as if we go into the gym and work at becoming stronger, we don't leave that strength behind in the gym. We can use that strength throughout our daily lives for the benefits that we want it for. And thus, by practicing meditation, we increase our capacity to be present and aware, which means in our daily lives, we can be more aware of what's going on, be more resilient, less stressed, less reactive, more capable of letting go of negative thoughts and being aware of the positive ones. And so, meditation is a great practice for working that mental muscle and allowing us to become more present and aware consistently throughout our lives. And just a quick note on meditation. If you haven't tried it before, or you're one of these people who has tried it and went, I wasn't able to quieten my mind, it was really noisy and it was really bugging me and I just can't do it. Well, guess what? There was nothing wrong with the way you practice meditation. There was nothing wrong with the way you were doing it. That's what meditation is meant to be like. We are not meant to silence our minds. If you think meditation is about silencing your mind, you're going to go mad. Instead, think of meditation as sitting down quietly, closing your eyes, and being present to what's going on within your mind. Because when we sit down and get quiet, we become more aware of the thoughts, we become more aware of the emotions, and thus we get used to separating ourselves from them, disassociating from them, and increasing that bandwidth we have for presence, for choosing to respond instead of react, and all those wonderful things. And so, if you haven't given it a go, or you gave it a go before and you didn't like it, please give it a try. Feel free to reach out to me and I'll happily share some different methods and tools for you to help you get into it. Next, a very powerful one, especially for those of us with families or in relationships, is to leave our phones in another room. When my phone is in the same room as me, I have the temptation to look at it. I'm wondering what notifications could have come up. Have I got that message yet? Has this person replied to my email? Does anybody love me on social media? But when my phone is in another room, these temptations barely exist. I hardly think about my phone. And even if I do think about my phone, it's not within my immediate grasp. Therefore, I'm more present in what I'm doing, who I'm with, and to the opportunities that could present themselves. Like, for example, simply just watching my daughter play. She might not be actively playing with me at that point in time, but I tell you what, she is 100% aware of whether I'm present and in the room or not. And so by simply just being there, watching her, I can see what she's doing, and I can also choose how I want to respond to what she's doing, so that I'm choosing the responses I want, being the man I want to be, and living by my values, therefore noticing all the small opportunities for growth and being the person that I want to be. And of course, as a father, as a fiance, as a friend, all these things, I always want to be present with the people that I'm with, because the greatest gift you can give another person is your presence. If you think about it, if you're talking to someone and they're not properly listening, or they're thinking about what to say, you know it. But if you're talking to someone and they are 100% right there, present with you, you feel seen, heard, and felt, and it's such a powerful experience. So, tip number 2 for being more present and aware of the opportunities for growth in your life is to leave your phone in another room. Number 3 is to take small presence breaks. All day, every day, we jump from task to task to task, putting on different hats. Right now, I'm sending emails. Now, I'm creating content. Now, I'm being dad. Now, I'm making lunch. Now, I'm coaching a client. Now, I'm working out. And we jump from these tasks all day, every day. And sometimes we don't take a pause to break and create a clean separation between tasks before we move on to the next thing. And so we have an opportunity here to bring ourselves back to being present. And so when we finish doing something, that is a great opportunity to habit stack, so that, cool, I've finished sending these emails. Before I go and do that thing, let me just think. There's 5 things I can see, 4 things I can hear, 3 things I can feel, 2 things I can smell, 1 thing I can taste. And before I know it, in under 30 seconds, I am back fully present in the moment, and thus, again, more aware of my surroundings, more aware of my thoughts and emotions within those surroundings, and of course, more aware of any potential opportunities for growth. Number 4 is to, anytime we realize we're not being present, just allow ourselves to recenter. Because all throughout our day, it's not possible to be 100% present at all times. Even monks who sit down in caves and meditate for years haven't managed to achieve that yet. And so if you do, actually, please let me know, because you could be onto something big there. But anyway, when we realize we're not being present, first of all, be kind to ourselves and gently redirect ourselves back to the present moment. Again, huge personal example that speaks to my values. If I'm bathing Arabella and she's just playing about in a bath, sometimes I can be thinking about, right, okay, I need to go and get the towel. I need to have her magnesium body rub ready. Once she goes to bed, I have to do this and do that. And I'm not being present. I'm not there in the moment with my daughter, and she'll be aware of that. And so when I realize that my mind is drifting or going off somewhere, I can go, oh, and just bring myself back to the present. Again, we can do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 of things we can see, hear, and feel, or we can even just go, I can feel my fingers in the warm water. I can feel my feet on the bath mat. I can see my daughter looking back at me, and just become aware of the things within our immediate present moment. And thus, we're once more re-centered, grounded in the present, and able to identify the opportunities for growth, like being present with our loved ones, like instead of reacting or shouting or doing that, responding and choosing to be more kind, compassionate, understanding, whatever that thing is. And last but by no means least, tip number 5 for helping us to be more present and aware within our daily lives is journaling. Journaling is one of my favourite tools. You will have heard me talk about it before, and you will hear me talk about it many times again. When we journal about our days, about our lives, about our goals, about our thoughts and emotions, it allows us to get these things out of our head, to view them objectively, disassociate from them slightly so we can think about them logically and rationally to create solutions, ideas, ways forward, breakthroughs, whatever it is. And when we're consistently journaling about our days, our lives, our goals, our actions, how effective we're being, who we're being, it makes us more aware of these things. Again, because we're journaling about it consistently, it sends that message to the subconscious mind, to the reticular activating system. This is important to me. Therefore, we see more of it. We become more aware of it. And thus, journaling about our days and our lives, we become more aware of who and how we're being throughout our daily lives, which then means when we're not journaling and we're going about our day, these things that we have been working to grow upon, journaling about, processing, identifying, we're more present and aware to them in our daily lives. In our episode on core values and living a life of purpose, etc., one of the exercises I gave in there is at the end of the day, sit and have a think about your day, reflect upon it, and reflect upon it through the lenses of your values, and then evaluate your day. How well did I do with living in alignment with and honouring my values? What did I do well? What didn't I do so well? Where can I improve? And this exercise is so powerful in my own life and in the lives of my clients, because every single night I reflect upon my day, look at my values and go, okay, my top value of family, how was I as a father? Oh, okay, I could have spent a wee bit more time being a wee bit more present with Arabella in the morning. Or, hey, I did amazing at this, let's double down on that tomorrow. When it comes to personal growth, how was I with seizing these opportunities, with taking the risk, with getting out my comfort zone? And that way, we become more present and focused on these things while we're journaling, which, same as meditation, we then carry into our daily lives. And so that's 5 top tips to help us become more present and aware in our daily lives. Before we do any of the tips, we want to set the intention, I am more present and aware within my daily life. Then we know we have the practice of meditation to help improve that mental muscle. We have putting our phone in another room to eliminate distraction and temptation. We have presence breaks throughout the day between tasks to help us bring ourselves back to the moment. We have recentering and regrounding ourselves in the moment every single time we realize that our mind is traveling or wandering. And then last but by no means least, using a consistent practice of journaling to help reflect upon and evaluate our days, our lives, our actions, who we're being, so that our brain gets the message. This is important to us, and we become more aware of these things in our lives. Now, to complement these top tips and to ensure that you are more present and aware of these opportunities for growth within your daily life, and even more importantly, that you're capitalizing upon them and putting them into action, I want to share with you 2 hugely impactful tools that I use within my own life and that I share with my clients. And those are your growth list and your shit list. And what I would like to invite you to do is to find an app on your phone that allows you to create and store notes. Whether you've got an Apple phone, an Android phone, whatever it is, most phones come with them built in, and if not, you'll be able to find one for free on the App Store. And what I would like you to do is to create a note that you call your shit list. And the purpose of having a shit list is to be able to identify and store the shit that we would like to let go of, change, or transform to experience personal growth and become more resourceful, empowered, and effective within our lives. Because all day, every day, as we're going about our lives, in our work, in our relationships, in whatever it is, our shit can come up, which is to say, our stuff, our unresourceful, unhelpful, even negative mental and emotional reactions can come up. And that's okay. But it's a wasted opportunity if we just allow it to ruin our day or, hold us back for a certain point of the day and never do anything about it. We're just going to keep going round the same cycle. And so as we go throughout our day, if something happens and you notice yourself getting quite frustrated or pissed off, or maybe an opportunity is presented to you, or there's something that you need to go and do that you feel nervous or anxious about, or whatever it is, any form of unresourceful, unhelpful, or you might call negative mental or emotional response, go and note that down on your shit list, because as we're going throughout our days, it's not always appropriate for us to just stop right there, pull out our journal and start unpacking it all, or to sit down, cross our legs, close our eyes, do some self-hypnosis and make everything better. No, that's not how life works. Sometimes we just need to do our best to deal with it the best we can in the moment and keep moving forward. And thus, this is where having a shit list is powerful, because we might end up forgetting about it, or we might convince ourselves, it's fine, I don't need to deal with that just now, only for it to come up again and potentially be worse and have an even greater negative impact. And thus, when we can note down on the shit list, oh, I was feeling a bit of resistance towards getting out of bed today because I knew I had to do this thing, or ooh, so and so gave me this opportunity, but I'm incredibly anxious about it. Or, ooh, this person was telling me this story, and as they were, I was just getting really frustrated and didn't want to listen anymore. Whatever it is, anything unresourceful, unhelpful, or negative, get it on your shit list so that when it's time for you to sit down and actively do some personal growth, or even better, if you're working with a coach, you can take this stuff to your personal development sessions, to your coaching sessions, whatever it is, and work on it there and then. That way, we're aware of it. That way, we're more likely to work on it. And that way, we're accountable to letting these things go, transforming them, and getting that growth. So, first and foremost, create a list called your shit list and get any of your shit that comes up throughout your day, throughout your life on that list so that you're accountable and get it dealt with. Next is to create a second list, or even just further down on the page, create a second list called your growth list. And this is where we identify opportunities for us to grow positively. So the shit list is about what unresourceful, unhelpful, or what negative things can I let go of or transform. The growth list is like, what are some extra things that I could do, learn, or add on in order to grow and excel? So, for example, maybe there's something new that we're doing in our career or business, and we identify, oh, learning those keyboard shortcuts, or mastering this piece of software, or becoming better at public speaking, whatever it is, we can identify skills that if we were to learn them would allow us to grow more quickly, more effectively, more enjoyably, whatever it is. As well as that, we can also identify opportunities for other areas of our growth. Like maybe we decide, okay, how can I be the man, father, husband, leader that it is that I want to be? Well, I want to be more organized. I want to be more disciplined. I want to develop more patience, more presence, more understanding, whatever it is. Anything and everything that we could develop as a skill, a characteristic, a trait, a quality, as a habit, a system, a ritual, a routine in our life that is going to make life easier, life more effective, to give us the results that we want, get those noted on your growth list. Because again, If we identify something right in the middle of our day as we're in the middle of a task before we move on to the next four tasks and deal with messages and talk to our families and make dinner and work out and all these things, it can sometimes be easy to forget about these things, to let them go. And sometimes an idea or an insight pops in that could be hugely transformational, and then we forget all about it. Only to, you know, a month down the line, a year down the line, 2 years down the line, have that same insight pop up again and go, oh, I remember I thought of that years ago. If only I had implemented that 2 years ago, imagine where I could be now. Well, we're going to stop that from happening, because anytime we identify a way for us to grow, to become better, healthier, happier, stronger, more resilient, whatever it is, we note it down on our growth list, so that when we are then sitting down to journal or to do our personal development or to work with our coach, we then have things that we can actively pursue and work on to get that growth. And so, this brings today's episode nicely to a close, where we've learned that personal growth isn't just about the giant shifts, changes, transformations, and breakthroughs. Yes, these things are important and a large part of personal growth, but so too is looking for and finding the small opportunities for growth, the 1% changes to become healthier, happier, more productive, resilient, whatever it is. We learned that we're able to identify these opportunities within our daily lives simply by being present and noticing our mental and emotional reactions and responses to things. We learned that to help us become more present and aware within our lives, first we want to set the intention that we are or we are becoming more aware. We can practice meditation to help build that mental muscle. We can leave our phone in another room to eliminate distractions and temptations. We can take small presence breaks between tasks to quickly bring ourselves back to the moment. We can recenter and reground ourselves anytime we notice that our mind is distracted or wandering, and we can use journaling to help us to process, unpack, and become more aware of our lives, and again, transfer that into our presence and awareness as we're going about our lives. And then last but by no means least, we then learned about two hugely powerful tools, our growth list and our shit list, where as we're going about our daily lives, we can note down some of the stuff, shit and unhelpful things that pop up as mental and emotional reactions to make sure that we're accountable to them, and when it's appropriate to, we can sit down, unpack, process and transform them, as well as being able to note down the things that we would love to add in, to develop, to excel at, that are going to allow us to be even more effective at being ourselves, being our best, and thriving in life. And so, go away from here. Set the intention, I am more present and aware within my daily life. Begin to notice and identify the small shifts, changes, and 1% opportunities for growth. And if it's not possible or appropriate for you to capitalize on them right there and then, that's okay. Get them on your growth list, get them on your shit list right away. And then when it is time, sit down, unpack it, process it, put it into action, and experience that growth. If you're enjoying the show, then please share an episode with someone else. Not only does it hugely help to support the show, but it also helps to help others too. And I don't know about you, but I personally believe that the more people who are focused on their goals, focused on their growth, being themselves, being their best, and thriving in life, the better a place the world is for all of us to live. And that's something that you can make happen by helping share this message. Until next time, take care, please be kind to others, and I'll catch you real soon. Peace.